TheMotor.com presents APBA Offshore.
Welcome to St. Clair, Michigan. It is a beautiful city that sits right along the St. Clair River, where there's lots of boating traffic, and it's not all the little boats either. We'll talk more about that. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Crippen, and welcome to St. Clair on a day that's just great for racing. The boats are already starting to head out to the course. It is going to be basically smooth water, and it's going to be 3 miles one way, 3 miles the other, so there's going to be plenty of competition. Now, this group assembled today is one of the largest national groups assembled in classes, and certainly this is the largest race St. Clair has ever hosted. We start with the Warlock Factory 2 class, where Treadwell Motorsports and Team Virgin are hot on the heels of defending world champs Team Voyager.
And how about the king daddies of V-bottoms, the ultra extreme 2200 horsepower supercharged Super Vs. The battle is on as David Wood's Pier 57 team tries to stay ahead of the MATCO Voyager in the CITGO SUPERGARD SCARAB. When you talk about cats, you have to talk about the biggest and baddest of them all, the Super Cats. All year long, Jerry Gilbreth and Hugh Fuller have wreaked havoc on the field, almost literally in Sarasota, where they were assessed a 3-minute penalty for rough driving after going off course and taking part of the field with them. They are the intimidators of Supercat. But after the penalty, Don Q. Cristal with Felix Sorales and Pat Patel aboard take the points lead into St. Clair. 8 other teams join the attack. Get ready for a war today.
Coming up, we're going to switch gears to the Factory 2, and it's wild racing. Lords and Reggie Fountain as we look at this beautiful course in a beautiful setting. This is the first river here, and it is a working river, as you shall see. It's a simple course. 3 miles down, make a big turn. 3 miles back up, make another big turn, and you're on the front straightaway once again.
The Factory 2 boats are boats like we build for the general public with 2 engines. They are fast boats. They run up near 90 miles an hour. There's going to be a hot race today. There are 22 of them here, the largest fleet ever assembled of Factory 2 boats.
Now, one of the boats you want to keep an eye on is this one, the Team Virgin, the F294, Todd Kinderth and Trace Martin.
Another team to watch is the Treadwell Motorsports, the F298, with Eric Treadwell on the wheel and Jack Storley on the throttle. This team is also chasing Team Voyager for the points lead.
22 boats coming down the St. Clair River. Look at that sight as the green flag flies off of the pace boat, and we have your leaders charging to the front.
One of the greatest fleets in offshore history, and look at how tightly packed they are. And out front again, it's Mitch Miller and Benny Robertson again in the Team Fountain. That is the flagship of the Fountain fleet, and the Fountain Factory has been doing a lot of homework under the guidance of Jerry Gilbreth. Virgin Cigarette and Treadwell Motorsports, as we expected, they are battling it out for 3rd place right now. And on the inside, of course, is the Treadwell. Nice line there in that big formula. That forced the Team Virgin into the 4th place position. And look out! Very, very close there as we come around that final pin. Whoa, we're getting too tight in there.
It gets really tight. You've got to watch yourself, and you've got to watch all the boats around you, and that's what we mean by pack racing. Lake Cumberland Marine Fountain boat still holding on to the lead out there. Benny Robertson, Mitch Miller have it going great. Further back, Team Voyager battling Moral Hazard for 6th into the turns and moving up on Team Virgin.
Team Voyager is playing that big cigarette Team Virgin very, very carefully after that last turn. There's a reason why Team Voyager in the fountain. Well, that's why they're leading the national points chase.
Now here's the Phantom boat Twisted Sticks, and they are running in 7th, but look right behind them. They have got a mad pack coming up.
The field's real packed up here because in the F2 classes, you've got some real even competition. It makes for boats racing side by side, bow to stern, and so forth.
And the F298 Treadwell Motorsports Formula boat is in 3rd, heading into turns 3 and 4. There may be a problem with the Utz Pier 57 in 2nd place. The question is, will it hold them out? That we don't know just yet. They're checking it out to see if they can make it happen. Meanwhile, Treadwell Motorsports is trying to close it in. the Tsunami, a Sutphin Hull, holding on to third place and battling hard.
That is by far the best that Canadian boat has run so far this year. Team Virgin now relegated to 4th place after their accident last race. That's pretty good.
It certainly is, and out front it is Lake Cumberland, but apparently they have developed a problem. They appear to be slowing down on the last turn. Another boat with a problem, the Utz Pier 57 fountain boat, is holding in. Lake Cumberland gets back up on there. Here's the finish, and Lake Cumberland is going to be holding on just by seconds to take it over the Treadwell Motorsports team.
The fountain with a win over the Formula, but just by inches. And the manufacturer's in the final results, you see a fountain over a Formula, over a Sutphin. Anybody's race.
It certainly was, in a tremendous field of boats. Again, we point out 22 boats taking the start on the St. Clair River.
You cannot do this by yourself. It's a team sport. That's what makes it so exciting. In this factory class, we had 22 boats out there today. A phenomenal amount of boats, just like the Worlds. 22 on this little course, and it was not smooth. It was just rough enough to make it interesting. And the Treadwell guys, they were right behind us. It was a hell of a race.
Well, we look at the points over the season, 5 of 9 races and only 6 points separating the MATCO Voyager from Lake Cumberland as we head into the final stretch.
Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. It's still dangerous.
We have a green flag, and as you can see, the Team Warlock closest to you is moving out, but they've got a leader that they've got to contend with in the Team Fountain, which has taken the early lead. Right behind them, look at Alehouse and Team Progression. Raising Cane is out there, too. Everybody's trying to catch this boat right here. That's Mitch Miller and Benny Robertson, tunnel boat racer, well out in front in the Fountain.
They are really negotiating this course very carefully. They're holding on to their lead, and I'm sure watching over their shoulders.
Alehouse has passed Progression and now are challenging Raising Cane for 3rd.
And that's Alehouse on the outside, the little white boat, as it bounces in. It looks like he's got the speed. Alehouse trying to get 3rd place away from Raising Cane, and he is making the pass. A great job of driving there. This is the boat that maintains the lead. This is the Fountain boat, followed by the Team Warlock, trying to make up ground in 2nd place. They are really fighting hard.
And in 3rd place, F113 Team Alehouse, probably their best performance of the year.
But wait a minute, Rich, they're slowing down. Something's happened aboard that boat.
Man, oh man, they ran out of gas, and on the last lap, that left the Rusty Wallace-back Fountain to take the lead and hold off the favorite, Team Warlock.
What a battle it was up front. So Benny Robertson and Mitch Miller take the win for Fountain. Rivals Team Warlock finished 2nd as the manufacturer's battle heats up in F1. In Factory 3, intense racing as the father-son team of George and Michael Stancombe in the F312 Peppers edges out F367 Kiley Motorsports in a hard-fought battle. Factory 4 was extreme as 10 boats battled on the calm waters of the St. Clair River. F419 Cat Can Do jumped out early and held off Critical Lift and Citra Shine to take the checkers. APBA Offshore and Extreme Baja Outlaw Racing. In the A class, it was Phantom irresistible to a win over Team Energy. The B class provided more incredible action as the B69 Let It Roll edged out the B96 Motorola. C class saw a 2-boat battle between the C1 Rum Runners and C35 Grumpy Old Men, with the Grumpy Old Men eventually taking the win. We're back at St. Clair, Michigan, back to wild action in the APBA Offshores.
And it doesn't get any wilder than with the Super Vs and the Super V Light. The Super V's a pair of 1100 horsepower supercharged engines. The Super V Light's carbureted version, a little less horsepower, but they're all vicious, like throttling sticks of dynamite.
Now we have to talk about FountainUSA.com. They are the points leaders. Team Woody is not here. That boat flipped recently, but Bob Teague is here.
Our race last weekend in Benicia, California, we were in almost completed with the race and caught a roller in a turn and turned the number 98 Super V upside down.
Well, Bob Teague may not be here, but the MATCO Voyager is. Todd Welling and Martin Sanborn, they're 2nd in points after a couple of stunning victories early on. The team with the most to prove right now, the CITGO SuperGard. Steve David and Nigel Hook, they've had a disappointing season. They need a good showing.
as we look out, the green flag is flying now, and these boats are dead even on the start. That's what we talk about equality and parity.
And that's what we talk about when we talk about horsepower. These are the ground-pounding V-bottoms in the world. The most talented monohull drivers in the whole country are here today.
And there's a battle of hulls going on as that CITGO boat is a SCARAB. MATCO and the Fountain boat are both Fountains.
Like a predator, the SUPERGARD is closing in on that big Fountain boat. SUPERGARD is all over this race course right now, but they've got a plan today. They're going to sit back, but they're going to strike towards the finish.
Meanwhile, here we see the start of the Super V Lights, and it is a battle of two almost identical boats. Both are Fountain hulls, both are Pier 57 boats. The third boat in the field, Aftershock, did not take the start.
Do not adjust your screen. That is, in fact, two identical Fountains really waging a war in the Super V Light class right now. And it's surprising because those teams, once the flag drops, the allegiance stops.
And there you can see what's happening with the CITGO SUPERGARD going to the inside of the MATCO VOYAGER.
And look at this straightaway speed. Both of these boats maxed out. Supercharged power well over 125 miles an hour.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Reggie, they are hanging out that FountainUSA.com boat.
Art Lilly's never been accused of holding himself back. He's a little bit overpropped and overgeared here, but he's got it wound up and going now.
You would never know that Art Lilly has had bypass surgery on his heart. This man is fearless. The man just puts that throttle down, and his driver has to hang on for dear life.
As we say, don't adjust your sets.
Yeah, look at the SUPERGARD. Steve, David, and Nigel Hook, they're loving it.
Okay, keep on. Lily's having a problem. Good Voyager, yes.
And the problem is to the FountainUSA.com. There you can see MATCO Voyager going up into first place, and it was CITGO on the inside passing this boat to take over second.
Back in the Super V Lights, the war continues between the two Pier 57 boats, and I'm going to go way out on a limb here and predict that a Pier 57 Fountain is going to win this event.
Uh-oh, MATCO Voyager may have a problem. It looks like that boat is slowing down. Just one engine on that boat now, giving a definite advantage to the CITGO SUPERGARD. If they can just hold it together, they'll get their first win of the year, you can bet.
In the Super V class, it's all about dependability. In this particular case, the two Fountains didn't make it to the finish. The SCARAB did.
Wow, and it's going to be boat number one of the Pier 57s taking the win. The Fountain Pier 57 taking it over the Pier 57 Fountain. Aftershock gets a third. Here's a big winner, the first win of the year for the CITGO SUPERGARD team. They take it over MATCO Voyager and FountainUSA.com.
Yes, you know, there's a lot of yellow boats out there, yellow Fountains, but the SCARAB did it, finally did it. You know, it's back on track. It's going to be in the front again.
Fountain is in the lead in the national points race with the MATCO Voyager, 560.9, holding a slim margin over that CITGO boat.
Coming up, the V-bottoms are done. We've got cat racing next. Stay with us from St. Clair, Michigan.
The current is definitely a factor here.
If you get some air out there, the boat starts getting away from you.
We're here in St. Clair, Michigan on the St. Clair River, but we're far from finished. We've got some great...
That's the number 76, the Fountain Mercury Super Cat. There might as well be a target painted on that stern as the rest of the field, after that 3-minute penalty in Sarasota, have aimed their sights at that boat.
Got a good jump on the start, and then all of a sudden we seen the Fountain Mercury boat coming over towards us, which caused us all to have to veer to shore.
They ran that course probably 10 years prior to it, maybe not the driver, but the throttle man himself. So how do you take a guy who's a 10-year veteran who's raced the same course, and all of a sudden 10 years later he's totally off course? To me, it seems intentional.
They certainly did something that I thought was reckless and negligent. We didn't make a complaint. I mean, those are for the officials to make, and I think they made the right call.
If it happens again, there's a possibility somebody could get hurt. And we're not in the sport to get hurt. We're in the sport to have a good time. If you got to cheat to do that, you shouldn't really be in the sport.
No, I don't want to get into it.
Really?
That's behind us. It's totally behind us. We want to keep... No, it's behind us, really. I don't want to talk about it.
They are big, they are beautiful, they are super fast, and they are milling right now.
The elite teams in all of powerboat racing anywhere in the world, the Super Cat teams. The best drivers, the best throttle men in the world. Guys on the wheel who can turn these big 40-foot cats on a dime, and throttlemen who can anticipate their every move.
They're lined up side by side.
10 seconds, 10 seconds. Spaceboat 1, the start is yours. The start is yours. Please respond.
The fans are waiting. This is the big show. Watch the rooster tails on these boats as the green flag flies. They're coming down and the rooster tails are flying high.
Right, clear left, left, left. Go to your left.
On board the Fountain Mercury, looking back at the field as the rooster tails continue to fly, and we've got to be aware that those things can be used as a tool. It appears to be separate drops of water, but it's solid to the boat, and if a rooster tail gets underneath that tunnel hull, there could be problems.
The start in boat racing is so important. That's why you want to have clean water in front of you. Don't let the other guy get his rooster tail in your face. You can't see, you can't race, you can't perform.
Reggie, when you're out there on the course like this and you come into those turns, everything has to be taken into account.
You have to know who's behind you, how close they are. You have to set the boat just right for the corner. And here, we got them side by side. Each one of them's trimming the boat to the maximum, trying to get that boat up into the air, flying over the water rather than through the water. Here, trim is everything. You can see it in good play right here.
The Cat Can Do, a smaller boat coming up on the big bad WHM. WHM dominated down in Corpus Christi in the rough, but right now on this calm short course, that big boat is a real liability.
And another battle out of bounds in turns 3 and 4, trying to catch the Spirit of Puerto Rico. They have the inside.
Out of bounds, a big story this year. She's been a big disappointment. Thought to be one of the quicker boats out there. She hasn't performed until today. Why? A new man on the throttles. JT, Johnny Tomlinson, multi-time world champion and boat rigger. This guy is a winner. The boat is coming alive.
And with that pass, out of bounds moves up to 4th place. Here we see Jelly Belly still in 2nd. Relief Band just behind in 3rd. Fountain ahead on the back stretch, and there you see the distance between 1st and 2nd place. Here is your leader. This is the Fountain Mercury team.
And here's a battle for 2nd place. Out of Bounds has finally overtaken Jelly Belly. Back at the beginning of the race, Out of Bounds got caught up in that traffic. He's been battling to catch up. He's done it. Now he's in 2nd, giving chase to the Fountain Mercury boat.
An amazing job by JT in there. He's got the only chance of catching this boat right here, the Fountain Mercury. But these guys, Hugh Fuller and Jerry Gilbreth, they are rubbing it in. After Billy Moff's pre-race comments in the WHM, Jerry and Hugh elected not to join the verbal fray. They're doing their talking on the race course.
And they are talking loudly, if I do say so. Great action on the course now. And there you can see Cat Can Do, and there's one of those big freighters. Cat Can Do had to make a decision, as did the Spirit of Puerto Rico. Do you go inside? Do you go outside on the big freighter? Well, they chose one side or the other, and they're continuing on the race. Here's the Extreme team making a pass on the John Q. Bristol, and a late pass by Cat Can Do as they smoked by Spirit of Puerto Rico.
Spirit of Puerto Rico with engine troubles. They're out of the race. They're going to have to fix their problems. They've had significant motor problems all season long.
Well, that's going to be a disappointment not only to them, but to Ivan Rodriguez, who's standing on the sidelines from the Texas Rangers and was rooting hard for that boat. The Fountain Mercury, no problems. Maybe the perfect race. They take another win, and they are plenty happy about that. The checker flies high over the Fountain Mercury team.
A quality job by a quality team, an enormous margin of victory.
Here are the final results.
And the Fountain Mercury flawless from wire to wire. They led at the beginning, they led at the end, and they led all the way through. Out of bounds, a very good accounting of themselves coming right through the pack. JT is magic on the sticks.
I knew when we got a clean break that we, if the engines ran well, we'd be okay. And thanks to Mercury Marine and Fountain Power Boats, everything went well.
I think it goes to show to get a professional running another boat. Just Jerry's that good. Jelly Belly was right on us today. You know, Out of Bounds was right on us today. I think it goes to show these boats can run with us. They just need, you know, good people in them, and they can run all day. So
we have a very well set up boat. We work very hard at it, and again, I'm hard on my crew, and I'm tough to be around sometimes, but I demand excellence, and today it showed, and I'm really happy.
And as a result of that, after losing one of the races in Corpus Christi, Texas, Fountain Mercury has moved back on top in the point standings for the year. So now it is a battle royal for the rest of the races. No question about it.
The bottom line is these teams are going to have to do a lot of work to catch that Fountain Mercury.
It has been a great day in St. Clair, Michigan. On behalf of Rich Lors and Reggie Fountain, this is Dick Crippen. Join us next time when we'll be at the Chesapeake Challenge in Baltimore, Maryland. We'll see you then.
The APBA is sponsored by Millennium Fuel Corporation, the official fuel supplier of the APBA Offshore. And by Liberty Coach, the official motor coach of APBA Offshore. And by CITGO SUPERGARD Motor Oil, the official motor oil of APBA Offshore. CITGO when it counts. The APBA is sponsored by SpeedMonster.com, the presenting sponsor of the APBA Offshore Pro Series 2000.